Go ahead. We'll start the show. Come on.
Detroit 313. He got me. I ain't even gonna lie. And I even tried to hit us in the intro in on you, and I couldn't get myself right. Here we are. We're gonna talk to Detroit Lions content, but before we do, please hit the subscribe button. I don't know. I believe Steve shot his stuff out from our members giveaway. I shot mine out yesterday, but we still got 2 people that we're looking for, I believe. So hey, listen, Greg Kellogg, and who was yours, Steve?
Teresa Ruckel.
Teresa Ruckel, man. Like, listen, I don't know where we're at in the members. Steve has got to update me,
20,
but
24. We're sitting at 24. It's getting to be decision time.
Yeah, we get 6 more. It's it's gonna be a huge members giveaway that we weren't even expecting. So, but Steve, what the heck are we talking about? I still got the giggles.
Yeah, sometimes for those of you who don't know, a little inside joke. I try to get Will to get a case of the giggles before I hit the intro button, and he's usually locked in, but I got him today. So what I'm going to try to do, Will, is just not be boring today. I know some people fast forward through my stuff, and they don't really listen, but it's okay. We were just little jokes this morning, but this is actually today's episode is coming from, speaking of one of our members, it's coming from one of our members asked a question yesterday. Jason in Brooklyn. Zemliska, hope I'm pronouncing that right. He asked a question on yesterday's show that I did. Who do you think will have more of a breakout year, Gibbs or J-Mo? Now, for these 2 players, I don't like the word breakout, so I don't know what word we want to use. Maybe expected to have a bigger season or take a bigger step forward, but I like the mindset of the question. I just don't know that I love the terminology, but it does spark a conversation about 2 of our most electric playmakers on offense, so it gets me a little excited. Will, your first reaction to that type of question, what's your first thought? Steve, don't be corny, Will. Don't be corny either. So.
But the first thought that I got in my mind is I'm going to get ahead of this. So I'm going to say what I got to say. And Steve is going to hammer me for giving a politician's answer. So I already know it's coming. So I'm just going to go ahead and get ahead of it, because to me, the answer is both. That's the way it immediately sticks out in my mind. The answer is both. I'm not going to get backed up into a corner today. I'm not going to let you make me choose, because the answer is truly both of me. So the first thought that goes through my mind is I'm expecting both of these guys to go crazy 2025, 2026. During this Super Bowl run. So I don't know, man. Beat me up if you want, but go ahead.
Well, thanks for watching the show, guys. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show. The answer is both, I guess. So now, like I said, it's hard to use the word breakout, but if I'm still in that breakout mindset, it's got to be Jameson Williams. All right. I can't look at Jahmyr Gibbs, who had a 1,400-yard season, 16 touchdowns last year, and say that he's ready to break out in this season. I think he already did that last year. So if we're talking 2025, 2026 season, it's Jameson Williams, who still had a good year last year, squeaked over, and I mean squeaked over that 1,000 yards with 1,001, 7 touchdowns. So I think he's got more room to improve just his stat line if we want to talk just stats. But I think the biggest thing for Jameson Williams is playing in 17 games. We haven't seen it yet. I think that's kind of what's hindering him back from having a breakout season, is the fact that he hasn't played a full 17 games yet, whether it's due to injury or suspension. So if I just look at the stats, the 2 players, I can't say that Jahmyr Gibbs needs to break out. I think that happened already. So I think Jameson Williams, I think his stats can go up. We've talked about it. Do we sign him now and get a little bit of a discount with his contract? Because if he plays a full 17 game season, we're probably looking at 1,400 yards and over 10 touchdowns. So I'm thinking Will's headset might have died. So I'm just going to keep rambling here. I don't know. Are you good, Will?
I'm good.
Okay. Saw you messing with the headset there. I wasn't sure what was happening.
Yeah, no, it was just buzzing in my ear because the battery's going low. But listen, Steve, you led me in perfectly with a are you nuts? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? Listen, J-Mo is gonna have a crazy year. The coaches are talking about it. I'm with you. So the nuts isn't coming from that. The nuts is coming from, let's start with Coach Choice. Let's start with taking this thing way back to Georgia Tech when Jahmyr Gibbs was at Georgia Tech, and he said this was one of the most influential dudes that he's had in his life. And fast forward to Coach Campbell being an absolute genius, an absolute wizard, and getting him back with Jahmyr Gibbs. Coach Choice in the building. They said he is absolutely nuts in that building, screaming down the hallways. His energy is just electric, pumping up the whole coaching staff, let alone the players. I think the trainers are pumped up. Miss Sheila Hemp Ford is pumped up. Everybody's pumped up with Coach Choice. And he said it, and other people have talked about it. He's in this building to make all of the running back room, but he's really going to push Jahmyr Gibbs because they're already locked in like this. Listen, I know this isn't a popular take, but I think, and I'm not even going to say it's because of Jahmyr Gibbs, but I think that Jahmyr Gibbs has underplayed as far to my expectations, and not because of his ability, because of his opportunities. Brad Holmes promised me something that he hasn't delivered on. He said that when we got Jahmyr Gibbs, we didn't get a running back. We got a weapon. Right? He promised me that he was going to get used in the passing game. I've been comping Jahmyr Gibbs to one of my favorite running backs from back in the day, Marshall Faulk, who was darn near a slot receiver. I want to see that out of Jahmyr Gibbs this year. I think I'm going to see it out of Jahmyr Gibbs this year. I think Coach Choice, Coach Montgomery, who was in that running backs room, who's now in the receivers room, I think he knows what Jahmyr Gibbs brings to the table. I'm fully expecting Jahmyr Gibbs, more receptions, more of a Christian McCaffrey, healthy version type of game, catching passes out of the backfield, crazy runs down the field, getting spelled by David Montgomery so he can come in fresh and go crazy. And hopefully, Coach Morton, if you're watching this, Michigan man, Michigan support Michigan here. Watch the podcast, support us, Coach Morton. If you're watching, please, let's get David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs on the field at the same time. I'm begging you. But I think this season we're going to see more of Jahmyr Gibbs as a receiver. And by receiver, I don't mean playing the slot. I mean receiving the ball out of the backfield. We might see some slot and spot duties. And for that reason, with on top of that, the icing on the cake being the push. Actually, not the icing on the cake, the oatmeal cream pie on top of the cake being
oatmeal cream pies.
Coach Choice being in this building, pushing this thing over the top. Steve, they're both going to have breakout years. I'm going to stand on that. But Jahmyr Gibbs going to do something special. The numbers might not show it because he's splitting his share with David Montgomery. But in the midst of his touches, he's going to do special things.
Well, can we picture an offensive formation with 5 linemen, Jared Goff, David Montgomery in the backfield, and then 4 wide receivers? And maybe we can switch up these combinations, but an Isaac Tesla, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and a Jahmyr Gibbs as your wide receivers. Does that not spark fear into defensive coordinators? Because I know Jahmyr is not like a premier pass catcher yet, but he's got great feet and he's got great hands. So is there something we can do to get him the football? Or maybe we line him out there and he's a decoy to get someone else open? I think it just creates a lot of opportunities. And I don't know that Johnny Morton is going to be more of a X's and O's, dialing up some stuff that's crazy and unorthodox like Ben Johnson was. I think he might just be a little bit more traditional. Hey, if it's 3rd and 1, I'm going to run the football. If it's 2nd and 5, I might pass, I might run. He's going to keep his options open, but I don't think he's going to be overly creative. And we talked about just keeping the offense simple because we have so many Ferraris in the garage. But sometimes if we got to throw out some fun formations, I think that that's something that could just put a lot of stress on a defense. If you have a bunch of guys who can run, bunch of guys who can catch, bunch of guys who are big, fast, it's tough to cover. And that, who's not to say that we don't go out in that formation and just turn around and hand the ball off to David Montgomery as well. Like there's a lot of different things you could do. But when we're talking about a breakout season, when I look at Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he's without a doubt a top 3 running back in this league already. When I talk about Jamison Williams, I can't say the same thing that he's a top 3, top 5. I don't even know if I'd put him in the top 10, and that's not a knock. But I just don't think that he's an elite player at his position yet. He could be. I think he's still young enough to really make a case. He's one of the most explosive, but I just don't think he's had that set track record like a lot of guys in the NFL, where I can put him in a top 10 wide receiver. I can't even put him as the top wide receiver on the Detroit Lions, but he's definitely, if we want to just break down every team's number 2, I think he might be the best. But I just can't give him that award or that title of being one of the best receivers in the league. So that's why I think he's probably the guy that has the most room to get better. Jahmyr Gibbs has ways he can get better and getting him the ball more in any type of way. But I think we just know that Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 3 running back. I might even say top 1. I would probably take him. Call me crazy. Call me a homer. I would probably take him over Saquon Barkley. If I were starting to draft today and I had to pick a running back, I think Jahmyr Gibbs has more better years ahead of him right now than Saquon Barkley does. So I might go that route. But I just can't hand J-Mo the title of a top 10 receiver. But if he gets in that category, our offense is just going to be unstoppable. So it's a win-win for me, Will.
Yeah. Hold on, Steve.
Yeah, call him. You can call him.
Yeah, Khalif. Yeah, I don't know why Steve doesn't want to put you on the field. I don't know. We're live. Let me call you back. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But anyways, we'll talk about TK852, how he can't even get, like, is he even out there? Like, what's going on? But supposed to be his favorite, guys. If you guys don't know, TK85 is Steve's guy. It's his guy. It's
preseason legend, preseason Hall of Famer.
But back to business. In all seriousness, man, when I look at these Detroit Lions, I think that they do have an unstoppable offense with all of the pieces that they have. And I do agree with you. I think that Jameson Williams is definitely a number 2 on this team. But let me ask you this. Who would be the biggest threat on the Detroit Lions receiving core to score a one-play touchdown from anywhere on the field?
Oh, it's Jameson Williams, without a question.
And I think that's the difference. That's the difference. If I need a reception to win the game right now, St. Brown is like we ain't even gotta think about it.
We saw that in the playoffs a couple years ago. Get him the football, let him pick up that first down, and we'll just take the clock.
Period. I don't care if his abdominals are gone, ribs are broken, if he's got one leg. Yeah, it doesn't matter, man. Just get that guy to football. So I can't take away who is the top dog of that receiving core. But that said, I do not get up in my chair when St. Brown catches that football. J-Mo can catch that ball behind the line of scrimmage. Whoa. It's like, what we doing, man? What we doing every single time. And I think for that reason and that reason alone, man, he's going to do some special things. I do agree with you when you say that Coach Morton may be a little bit more vanilla in a sense than Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson got cute. In certain situations, instead of just keeping his foot on the gas, mashing that football at people's face, and then taking the shots. I think that's exactly what you're going to see out of Coach Morton. You're going to see him mashing that football, taking shots up top, hitting his crossers, and it's going to be a perfect scenario for J-Mo to get opportunities. But I'm interested to see what his wrinkle is going to be added to the offense. Hey, Isaac Tesla. Hey, I think that he is a guy. Second half of the season, he'll make some plays. I don't think it'll be anything crazy, but he'll make some plays. First half of the season, I'm expecting a little bit more out of Sam Laporta. Not because of anything that he did last season that was bad. I just don't feel like he was truly healthy last season. I think he came into the season. He's even mentioned in one of his press conferences that I basically went from my senior year of college and just played. Then last offseason, I had to have surgery right after the season, came into the camp trying to recover, played. This is the first time that he's really feeling back healthy, where he got to have an offseason where he gave his body a little bit of a break, then got back to it full throttle. I'm expecting to see the rookie year Sam Laporta, not the Sam Laporta that we seen last year, who I will say was still a top 5 tight end in the league, maybe top 3, maybe number 1. I'll let people debate that, but I can't think of anybody personally that I'm taking over Sam Laporta, because while there may be some tight ends that are a little bit quote unquote sexier, Sam Laporta quietly does the dirty work, and he has the mentality that I want out of my tight ends. So I'm looking for J-Mo to go crazy this year. Like I said, I'm looking for Jahmyr Gibbs to go crazy this year. Not a part of the show, but I'm looking for Sam Laporta to go get back to being Sam Laporta. David Montgomery is looking like a beast, and I always feel like he's got a chip on his shoulder. And they can talk about how much him and Gibbs love each other. You can love your teammate and still compete and want to put your best foot forward. So I think those guys are going to be working off of each other, iron sharpens iron type of deal. David Montgomery is going to come out here and play some doggone good football too. Steve, I believe we're looking at, I'm going to say this and I'm going to mean it. I believe we're looking at the number one offense in the NFL this year. And the reason why I say that is our offense is going to get help this year. We had, to me, the highest powered offense last season with a defense that was just getting destroyed in moments, right? Couldn't get offenses off of the field. Imagine when this defense is getting 3 and outs, giving the ball right back to Jared and the boys. Like it's I don't know, what was it, 33 something points? Like it might be 43 points this year. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this defense to get more 3 and outs and this offense to put more points on the field. For those reasons, Steve, maybe the number one offense, maybe a top 5 defense if Marcus Davenport is Marcus Davenport for 17 games.
Did you see what Sam Laporta said in a press conference? I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before.
I probably did. I watched it, but I don't know what you're speaking to.
He was asked something along the lines of not being as involved in the offense last season, and he said, "Dude, we scored the most points of any team in the NFL in the last 5 years. Everybody deserves the football. He's just a team guy, all right? He doesn't need the football." And I don't think he wasn't a part of the Detroit Lions offense. And I think we talked about it before the beginning of last year. We could see some Sam Laporta regression as a sophomore, but our regression was based off of what he did as a rookie with almost 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. So regressing was still a damn good year. Where what did he have? Like 807 touchdowns last year, something like that. 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. Like if that's regression, I'll live with that every day of the week. So I think he wasn't involved with the offense. It's just we have so many guys. Like, were we expecting Jahmyr Gibbs to come in and have 1,400 total yards? Were we expecting Jamison Williams to have 1,000 yards, even with being suspended for 2 games? Were we expecting Amon-Ra to just keep doing what he's doing? Like, we just had a lot of mouths to feed. I mean, David Montgomery was still another bell cow for us last year. So, I mean, we had a lot of guys that were top in their position groups and stats. And Sam Laporta, yeah, he went from 980 some yards to maybe 750. I'm trying to look up his stats as we talk, but regardless of what his exact stat line was, I think he still had a solid sophomore year that most people would be more than thrilled with. It was just not as sexy as what he did as a rookie.
This dude's arm looked like Iron Man all season.
726 and 7 touchdowns last year.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, that's still pretty damn good for a tight end.
0 complaints.
And in the run game, he's a solid blocker too. So, I mean, we don't even have to just look at his stats.
When I look at the Detroit Lions, I don't have one question about any position on their offense. None. And the only one that I'll even listen to people challenging me on is Taylor Decker. That's it. Because listen, I don't know what group of guards are going to start, but I'm going to be okay with them. Whatever cream rises to the top of that guard group, I'm good with it. Our center, we ain't even got to talk about that. Panay, we don't got to talk about that. Right? So maybe I'll allow you, but I don't have a problem with Dak, man. I think, does Dak have his moments where he gets beat? He does, but he plays some doggone good football most of the time. And that's the bottom line. So then we talk about Jared Goff. Then we talk about our running backs. Then we talk about our receivers. We talk about our tight end. I have no questions about this offense. And honestly, I think you can make it look so many different ways. Because just like you were talking about, you put a doggone good offense out there, and we didn't even mention Khalif Raymond. Like, and we had a pretty doggone good offense out there.
Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick. Right. What are we doing there? Hey, Jackson Meeks, man, has been playing
Dominic Lovett. Like, we got some kids that are coming in.
Hey, Dominic Lovett. This thing, I don't have questions about this offense, man. This offense is a it's pretty much a sealed deal, man. Whatever guys are out there, I'm cool with it right now. Defensively, my only question is Marcus Davenport, and it's not his play. It's whether or not he'll be available. Don't let Marcus Davenport be available all season. Detroit Lions all year. Maybe we just have a dominant season. Maybe the Detroit Den 313 just talks about Detroit Lion dominance, how we dominated the Philadelphia Eagles, dominated the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, that's what I believe this thing can do if we stay healthy, man. That's the bottom line. I don't. If Marcus Davenport and the boys stay healthy, we get a Lee McNeil back. We're sitting in a driver's seat somewhere. Yeah, Talik Williams is finally figuring it out. Maybe we signed Za'Darius Smith, who already has a deal in the works, probably behind the scenes that we don't know about. Because I don't know why else wouldn't you have signed somewhere at this point? It's not like he's one of these guys that is so far gone. It's not like he's 35 or 36 years old and he's like, I just want to wait till the season starts and maybe sign with the team on the back half of the season, so I already know that they're in the playoffs or something like that. I think he wants to be with a team as soon as he can, man. And I think that team is the Detroit Lions. So if we're looking at these guys, Roy Lopez, man, another plug, DJ Reader, all these guys want to win a Super Bowl. I think it's time, man. They stay healthy, sky's the limit.
Did you see also what Penei Sewell was saying in a press conference yesterday? He was talking about Johnny Morton, and I should have probably mentioned this a little bit ago. I was just trying to look up the exact quote, and I can't find it. But he was asked something about Johnny Morton, and a lot of people have a lot of concerns with him being a first-time play caller coming back to Detroit. And Penei Sewell just said, "Yeah, man, we're clicking." And that's exactly what I'd expect him to say. So I'm not reading too much into it. Like, I wouldn't expect Penei Sewell to get up and get a question like that and say, we got a long off season. We got a lot to work on or anything like that. I'd expect him to say something just like that. But this is probably the leader of the Detroit Lions offense. But, he's an offensive lineman. I don't think he gets enough praise, but my favorite player without a doubt. So for him to get up there and just say it with such confidence and no hesitation, just kind of reading his body language, I think this offense is just going to be perfectly fine. We haven't had a question about our offense since 4 seasons ago. We're pretty solid there. The last 4 seasons, we haven't had the same level of comfort with the defense. So if that gets on par, speaking of which, can't do a Detroit Den 313 show without mentioning Hutch being fully cleared to play some football again, Will. And didn't want to spin that into a full show, but if we're talking defense for a minute or two here, the best pass rusher in the NFL is officially 100% a go to resume football activities with training camp about to start here in the next few weeks. So how do you feel about that? Are you excited, or does it do something for you in the pants? Could you stand up right now and not show something?
That boy bricked up right now. we talk about. Hey, listen, when he said, hey, Steve, when he said,
actually, it's more like,
hey, seriously, when he said, when they asked him, they said, hey, what would be the turning point for you to really say that you feel like you're ready to go, like you feel comfortable, I'm all cleared.
Yeah, I'm full go.
Yeah, what are we? If the game's tomorrow, I'm out there. I was like, because some of the conversation was, do we think Hutch will be ready for week 1? Do we think that he'll be on a snap count? Do we think now all of those questions are out of the window for me? See you week 1, buddy. No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. Take it off of my checklist of things to worry about. It's Hutch. I see you then, man. And I did enjoy, some of the other stuff he spoke about, just going through the process, and I just got an appreciation for the grind that was, and him still going to the children's hospitals and doing his thing. I just hats off. That dude is a stand-up man, and I'm proud to have him as one of the top dogs for the Detroit Lions for those reasons, not just the football, man. And he's a winner. He wins where he goes, man. Came to University of Michigan. Things weren't going that great. We were getting beat by that team down south quite often, a little bit too much for my taste. And he turned that thing around. Came to Detroit. He's helped turn this thing around. Now all we need to do, he won that natty for the Wolverines.
He wasn't there for that? He wasn't on the natty team.
Oh, it was the year after. You're right. Yeah. Hey, he nonetheless, he put
Big Ten. He won a Big Ten championship, though.
Yeah, he put down the foundation and the studs for it. So, same thing here. He's put down the foundation and the studs for us. Now all we got to do is push this thing over over the hump. We got a bunch of winners surrounded by him. Hey, what do? We got all those Bama boys. What we do this year? We got
Go
all
Dogs.
Go Dogs. Hey, it's we got a winning environment with a bunch of captains, with a bunch of guys that are tough and gritty. Steve, I'm just excited for it. So, in the midst of this breakout season that both of these guys are going to have, both of them, I think that we're going to watch this Detroit Lions football team just do something special, man, and hoist that Lombardi trophy.
I hope this is the year. Just stay healthy. I think that's the biggest key. Like, a lot of people were criticizing what we added in the offseason and in free agency and not loving the draft. And I get it. You know, it wasn't a sexy draft, but sometimes when you don't need a lot of playmakers on the football field, you got to have a ugly draft, like drafting some offensive linemen, drafting some defensive linemen like Ahmed Hassanin that might work out in a year or two. Tyleik Williams, we'll see what he does as a rookie. So I think we had a great offseason. We got what we needed. We aren't in the same position as a lot of other teams. So I really like what we did in the offseason. The main thing is getting healthy. Do you have anything else for today, Will?
No, man, I'm excited. I'm pumped up.
I got to give a couple member shout outs. We got some people who have upgraded. If I haven't mentioned you yesterday, Jason in Brooklyn, again, your whole question yesterday kind of centered this whole episode. Appreciate that. Jeff Fulton upgraded to our Super Den. DJank69, Mark Yarhouse, Cynthia Nicodemus. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if not, but sitting at 24 Super Den members. And there's some people out there who are asking some questions on how to upgrade. Don't exactly know how. I'll try to get you an answer. If I can't figure it out, maybe try canceling your membership and then jumping into whatever tier you want. That might be an option. But we're 6 away from 30. When we hit 30, we're going to be doing another Detroit Lions memorabilia giveaway for our Super Den members. And I won't say who, but I do have someone who was mentioned in today's episode in my closet for a jersey giveaway for our Loyalty Den members. It's one of the last ones I had. I know we talked about letting you guys choose, but I have this one here, so we'll give that one away, as well as a little something for our basic Den members. So if we hit 30, we'll do another giveaway for all 3 tiers. And if Teresa Ruckel and Greg Kellogg don't claim your footballs, we're going to have to make a tough decision. So Super Den members could have a chance to win 3 memorabilia items. So might be worth it to think about. Not required. Greatly appreciated. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.